Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You can see behind me I have a 23 Chevy Silverado in that's going to be getting our 5-year graphene coating. And it only has 300 miles on it, but you are not going to believe what the paint looks like. Now, before I show you the exterior, I'm just going to bring in here and show you there is 300 miles on this truck. He just picked it up last week from the dealership, brand new off the lot, and we're going to be ceramic coating it, but we have a lot of work to do. You can see that without even shining a light on it. This is the front fender. I don't know what, I don't know. No idea. Maybe they tried to buff something out because it's kind of hazy, but then it's got a lot of swirls and marring. And then over here, you can see it, but from the angle, I noticed that immediately when I pulled it in yesterday, before it was even washed. It had like a crazy film on it. I don't know what they put on it. Guys, 300 miles. I don't know, was it out in the lot and they were brushing it off if there was snow? We really didn't get a lot of snow in the area this year. Did they wash it a few times out in the lot? Is this from the one single wash they gave it before the customer took it home? I don't know. How does it get that? Somebody, what is that? All down the side. Still a little wet, so that's what you see there. Just washed it. But, I mean, the entire truck is covered with marks. Wiping it, I don't know what they were doing. No idea. Up and down marks here. Usually if it's from the brushes at a car wash, you would see all of the swirl marks and marring going in one direction, but it's not in one direction here. It's like everywhere. Side to side across the tailgate. All marks going around there. I did see some bigger ones out over here too, right there. I don't know. This is like shocking to me that, I mean, the customer didn't even wash it. He literally just bought it last week. He didn't even have time to do any kind of contact wash. So this is what I'm dealing with today. So last year I had a customer just ordered a brand new Subaru WRX, and he said, I'm bringing it to you to get ceramic coated. Is there anything I should do or tell the dealership beforehand? And I said, yeah, just tell them when it comes in. Don't worry about prepping it. They could even leave the plastic on. So he brought it here with the actual plastic from shipping, still on the hood, the roof, the trunk lid. It was on the fenders. All I did was peel it off, gave it a wash, a nice quick polish, and it was ready to go. And I posted a video up, like people were like, oh, that's a little overboard. I can't believe, you know, you did that, you know, we're that extreme. I was, because I see what happens. Here's a perfect example. I'm not saying every single dealership, the vehicles come back like this. I would say 75% of them come in and look similar to this, maybe not as bad, but they're just using improper washing techniques. There are some places that take care of the cars when they clean them. But from my experience with cars coming in, a majority of them look like this. So I always tell a customer, if you're planning on bringing it here, you already have intentions of bringing it in to get ceramic coated by me or another reputable shop in the area, just call the dealership and tell them, I don't need it washed, I don't need you to prep it, I'm just gonna take it home, I'm taking it somewhere to get detailed. It's gonna save them time, they're not really gonna care. It's gonna save you money, and it's gonna save me time or the detailer that's doing it. So I don't have to charge as much. That Subaru WRX that I mentioned, I saved him a lot of money because my prep work didn't take as long as it's going to on this truck here. So just something to keep in mind if you are ready to purchase a new vehicle, or if you purchased one in the past and you had maybe a good or bad experience, I don't know, comment below and let me know if you bought a brand new car, what condition it was in. Like I said, not every dealership is the same, but from my experience here in this area, this is what I deal with. I'm gonna get to working on this. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do maybe a two-step, hopefully just a one-step go around. I'm guessing my regular that I use, 3D1, on a Lake Country pad. I'll do a test spot first and get to buzzing around on this truck and make it look like it should. Other thing is, I don't know what kind of tire shine they used, but I'm gonna show you that too. So here's the tire. I don't know, I could like scrape it off. It's like thick. I couldn't even get it off with the scrub brush when I was cleaning the tire, so I'm coming back around with some degreaser on a towel, and I'll show you what the back tire looks like after I cleaned it off. Much better. So I gotta get all of that off as well. All right, tires are clean. There's all the junk that came off of them. They look a heck of a lot better now, so when the tire shine goes on later, they'll have some shine. Otherwise, they look, I don't know, it looked like oil or something was all over them, and it was probably splattered all over the side of the truck as well before I washed it. Next up is test spot and see what combo I'm gonna wind up using on here. I don't think it's gonna take much to clean it up, but you never know. This wasn't expected that it was gonna be this bad when it came in, but here we are. So let me get to rolling on that, and I'll get back to you and let you know what combo I'm using. Just use this bedside spot right here, basically this section for my test spot, and start at least aggressive. That's how you always want to start. You don't want to start super aggressive on the paint if you don't need to. So the two pads that are the least aggressive that I have a Euro fiber pad, and then this is a Lake Country just light cutting pad. And I tried 3D1 first on the Euro pad. I was getting some marring, so I knew I was kind of maybe too aggressive with it, and backed it down to Lake Country orange pad, and still wasn't really satisfied with the paint. The blue pad is what I normally use, but this is the most aggressive, so I knew I wasn't going with that one. What I wound up using is a very fine polishing pad from Lake Country. Work the area very slowly with 3D1, about 4 to 6 passes in a crosshatch pattern, and just work the machine very slow. I turned it down, I'm on about 3, 4 on the Rupes, and that is cutting out all of those light scratches that are in this area. So maybe when I get to the fender, I showed you those deeper, they're not super deep, but those scratches that are in there, and maybe on the other side I might have to start off a little more aggressive and then come back with a second step, but I think this is gonna knock it all out. I'm gonna light in here and show you this section that I already polished out that's pretty much prepped, what it's going to look like before I apply the coating. So this is where we're at before polishing. You can see those streaks, you can see the light scratches up and down, side to side, and then we move over. All right, so you can see it looks pretty good, way better than the other spot. Those little marks you see on there are just some polishing residue that's still on there that I need to wipe off, but overall we got a great shine and definitely looks better than what we have over here and going down the door. So we'll keep moving here. All right, so I'm gonna keep plugging away, get around this whole truck, and I got a long way to go yet, but I'll catch up with you after I make my initial pass around and see if there's anything else we need to touch up before we start applying the coating. So I had to change of plans on my process. On the bedside, the scratches weren't too prevalent there. On the front, as you moved closer to the front, there were more and more scratches. So I had to change up my process a little bit from the back door to the fender already. So I use the Euro fiber pad for the first step, a little higher speed on the polisher, and then I'm coming back with the second step will be finer polishing pad, the black one that I had on when I did the bedside, and just to finish it out. So a lot of scratches as I move forward, and there was that big hazy spot like right there on the fender. I don't know if they hit it with a polisher or something and just didn't finish it out, but that came right off with the Euro fiber pad. There's still small little marring that's in the paint, but when I come back with that finishing polish and the pad, it knocks it right out. I got basically this side of the truck finished. You can see behind me the shine on it, and I just need to work across the hood and then go down the other side. It's taken forever, but that's GM black for you. So got around the whole truck, did 2 trips. The first one, 3D1, like I mentioned earlier, and then the second trip was 3D1 again, but this time I used the fine polishing pad and really knocked this paint out. I mean, it looks a ton better compared to what it looked like before. I mean, it was just nasty. There were a lot of scratches down the sides for sure. The hood wasn't horrible. There were scratches there. The roof, you could tell they really didn't touch the roof anyway. So there wasn't much time I had to spend up there. But I already wiped the whole thing down with the panel prep. I used Meguiar's surface prep to remove all the polishing residue that might still be on the paint. So it is clean and ready to go, ready for the application of the Jade Graphene ceramic coating. So I'll show you a little bit of me doing that, but you can see behind me, this thing is shining great now. It's gonna shine even better once I get the coating on there. So I'll just get a little bit here on my pad. It's pretty saturated already just from, I did the bedside already. But the one thing I like about the graphene, the Jade Graphene coating is you can work a pretty large area. Temperatures are in the 60s outside today. It's about 60 inside here, very low humidity. And that plays a pretty big role on how quick this is gonna flash and set up. But in general, the Jade Graphene coating has a longer flash time than say their 2-year coating, which is the Jade Ice. And they also have a 4-year coating, the Jade Quartz. So that's one of the reasons I really like working with this. It goes on a lot easier, and you have some more time to work with it. So you're not like really feeling rushed, or you can get through your job a little bit quicker because you can work a larger area. So it usually just takes about a minute or so for it to flash. And for those of you that don't know or don't have experience with the coating, you'll see it it gets like a rainbow effect on the paint itself, and you'll see kind of like streaks up and down, whatever direction you put it on. I like to do a crosshatch when I put it on just to make sure I cover everything. But you'll see it get a rainbow effect, and that's when you know it's flashing and it's just about time to start wiping it off. And you'll feel as you move the towel across it, I use the IGL coating towels for my first wipe. You'll feel it feels a little sticky on the surface. That's when you know you're wiping it at the right time. And I'll do a little test spot to see when I first start putting it down, you know, what my flash point's gonna be like, how big of an area I can work. So this is just about ready to go. And my first initial wipe is just a very light wipe, just to level it out. So I'll go right across the whole area that I coated. And it does feel a little bit tacky as I move across with this towel. So I'll kind of just level everything out the first pass here. And then I have a second towel that I'll come back with to just do the final wipe down. Get all those high spots leveled out. I have a light shining on an angle in front of the truck so I can see everything better. Just work that in, and then I'll come back with another clean microfiber and do my finish wipe. Now, if you do happen to get a high spot and you miss it and it's cured, what you're gonna do is come back with a polish. Sometimes you can get away with just a polish on a micro and just wipe it down and you're able to level it out. Other times you'll have to break out the polisher, polish out that area, wipe it down with your surface prep and then recoat that section. So what I do is I come in with my light and just look across the whole area that I just coated, and I'll see if there's any high spots that need to be wiped down, and this will definitely save you some extra work in the end. Especially on a lighter colored vehicle. On the darker colors, you could see it right away even without a light. But on a lighter colored vehicle, it's kind of hard to see. So this just will amplify that and make sure everything's perfect. So I'm going to keep moving along here and get the rest of the truck coated. I will also be coating the wheels and the windows, and this thing will be set. So I'll show you some after pictures of our finished product and some of those trouble areas where there were scratches, and then this will be ready to head out the door. All right, so I just finished up laying down the ceramic coating on the entire truck. All the paint, the wheels, the windows, everything's done. I'm gonna go around right now and just check for any high spots, make sure everything's good to go. I'll double check it again tomorrow morning after everything's kind of set up. And this truck is definitely looking a lot better than what it did when it rolled in here this morning. It took a lot longer than what I expected to be doing on a brand new truck with only 300 miles on it. But that's just to show you what one, possibly two washes, the damage that can occur, especially on a dark colored vehicle like this one, and the amount of time that I spent on it, roughly about 9 to 10 hours or so of working on this paint from start to finish. So it's definitely looking a lot better. I'll show you some video of the finished product, and I'm exhausted. It was a long day just to work on one vehicle. Black is beautiful when it's clean, but as you detailers know, and maybe some of you that have your own truck or car that's black that you take care of, you know what life is like to maintain one of these. This is a lesson for anyone if you're out looking for a new vehicle, whether it's brand spanking new or used. Just if you have your own dedicated detailer that you go to outside of maybe a dealership wash, and let them know that you do not want them to touch it at all. That way you don't wind up with something like this, that when you do take it to your detailer, it's going to wind up costing you more money just to get it corrected before they put on whatever protection they're going to do, whether it's a sealant or a ceramic coating like I did on this truck. The other thing is, I know that a lot of dealerships, when you take your vehicle in for maintenance, whether it's an oil change, brakes, inspection, sometimes as a courtesy, they'll take your car and run it through their car wash, or they'll wash it in their shop as it gets finished. Remind them that you don't want that done. Just put a note down on something to know that you do not want them to touch it, because you're going to get it back and it's going to be destroyed. Actually have a detail shop that's legit, then you can trust them. But I try to tell all my customers, it's not worth the couple bucks that you're saving having them do it, because in the long run, if you want it to look its best, it's going to wind up costing even more. All right, so here's a final look at the finished product. It looks so much better than it did this morning. Remember that fender that was looking horrible? Right around here was that ugly spot from whatever they tried to buff off. So we had that ugly spot there. And then the hood wasn't too bad. But then when I came over here, this spot on the fender was pretty rough looking, right around there above the wheel. So that's fixed and looking good. There was a scratch that ran down the whole door here. We had some stuff over here on the bedside that I had to work out. Just kind of swing back over this way. You get a good side view. Yeah, so this thing is looking like it should. So that's gonna do it for this detail. Another one corrected and protected with our Jade Graphene ceramic coating. We got a bunch more lined up coming in. A lot of people are buying new vehicles, or some that are coming in, I coated about 4 or 5 years ago, that are due for another coating. Some scheduled out the next couple weeks. So thanks for coming back. Thanks for checking out another video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you on the next one.